Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, I went out for a run with Lady H this morning and I was thinking about two things. Firstly, I hate running. Secondly, there is a tournament coming up tomorrow for Dragon to use the Gaellen Pact Alliance. And I was thinking about who could be the best champions for you guys to run in that tournament. I'm going to go into that now, and then I'm going to show you a couple of runs with my champions based on weaker champions and stronger champions. So hopefully you enjoy that. Before we do it though, I've got a very special giveaway coming up. I don't normally get involved in account giveaways. And my involvement is literally going to be a middleman and then pass you back to the person that is deciding to leave the game. But we have got a pretty massive account, and this fella has had enough of the game, wants to move on. Fine. Been playing it for a long time. Probably invested about 5k into the game. And what we're going to do is on my stream tomorrow night, Saturday night, which is 8 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. EST. As a couple of references, we are going to be giving away this account to one of my subs who's in the stream at the time for Twitch. So it's a pretty massive thing. You have to be a subscriber on my YouTube and my Twitch. So two things you've got to do to get involved in the mix on this. Let's show you a couple of things. Firstly, there's a bunch of spare energy and stuff in here to get you going. So you've got tons of energy in there. I think we've been playing the game for 190 days. So what, 6 months? We've got a great haul, which is pretty stacked. And we have got one or two cheeky champions in this account. So already got the Arbiter, we've got Docs, Blind Seer, Fushan, Razin, Elder Scarred, Ultan, Tyrant, Trunda. Yeah, we've got most of the big boys in this account, or a good lot of the big boys in this account. We've got a Skull Crusher for a counter-attack. And the crazy thing really is that a lot of these champions are fully booked as well. Arbiter, fully booked. I think Blind Seer was booked. Yeah, Blind Seer fully booked. Yeah, there's just tons of them booked out. Brackus fully booked. You can see how much investment has gone into this account. Some people prefer to do this, get themselves an account and get going. Others prefer just to grind it up, and that's cool. I'm like, it's each to their own. But we have got a pretty stacked account to get involved with if you want to. We're doing Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss, and it's Ultra Nightmare? Maybe it's Nightmare Clan Boss. But yeah, easy scope for Ultra Nightmare as well. Faction Wars is kind of like mid-tier developed, but we can see with the champions there, it's doable with this clan, with this account. So yeah, all I'd say is come and join me on Twitch tomorrow night, Saturday night, or my night, probably your day or whatever, and you will have a chance to win this account. So let's get into the Gaellen Pact. Now, when I think about killing a dragon, what do I want? I want, and this is the Gaellen Pact here, guys. For those that aren't aware, there's actually different groups of what do you call this? Different groups of factions, yeah? So these four are grouped together in the Gaellen Pact. A lot of people aren't even aware of it because they never use it in the game so far. So you've got Ogren tribes, you've got Lizardmen, you've got Skinwalkers, and you've got Orcs. So when I'm trying to kill a dragon, I want decreased defense. I want, for an AoE as well, I want control to deal with the waves. I want damage to take on the waves. And then ideally, I want poison to kill the dragon. They're like the four things that I would normally look for. And a Brucey bonus would be, and some speed to do some work. So the first thing I'm thinking is, like, where does my decreased defense come from in one of these factions? And I'll just kind of call out the ones which I think are strongest. Now, there's not really a decreased defense champion for Ogren tribes at all. And the other thing you need to be aware of is, like, anyone who's Spirit Affinity, if you're doing Dragon 20, is off the table as well because of Affinity. So, yeah, it kind of does hinder you in terms of some of your choices. But if we're looking for decreased defense, the only one really in Ogden Tribes is Bellower, and he has got weak source decreased defense. However, he is also usable for control, so he potentially can come into a team. Lizardmen have got Big Boy Draco. They've got Fushan, who does it in a certain like mixed random way, but Draco is like MVP if you've got him, of course. Other than that, they don't bring any of the requirements in terms of AoE decreased defense. Lizardmen are just a pretty shocking faction. Skinwalkers got no legendary, or we got Coronar does have decreased defense, so if you've got him, congrats. Not many people will have. But we do have here a Fleshmonger. Fleshmonger has got AoE decreased defense, 75% chance to land. So he's a bit like a War Maiden. If you've got him and he's kind of leveled up, he could be your decreased defense champion. He's one of few available, to be honest. So he could be an option. And then in Orcs, we've got the almighty Zargala, who's also positive affinity. So if you don't have a Draco, I'd say Zargala is best in class for this role. You've also got Robar, who's positive affinity as well in the mix. So Robar could come in and do some work if you've got him as a legendary. And then in terms of rares here, you do have a Gaelic who's also got a 4-hitter decreased defense, a bit like what Fushan does. So there's a few options there, but for me, the most likely candidate is going to be Zargala. We're then talking about control. So who can control the waves? Who can control the enemy whilst giving you some sort of damage output as well? So Biggin, MVP here. Durgo freezes the waves very nicely. You've got people like Ignatius can provoke whilst doing damage, which is quite cool as well. You've got Shatterbones, who's awesome at reducing turn meter. Absolutely awesome. And improving your turn meter. So he is definite candidate for that role here. Bellower in a stun set is awesome for control as well. You've then got, from Lizardmen, Fushan AoE stun is awesome. Razin AoE turn meter drop is very cool. You've got not really anyone here again. These guys are so sucky, it's unreal. And in this section, pretty much no one again. If we then talk about Skinwalkers, so Skinwalkers, we've got you've got a lot of turn meter control going on with Coronar, albeit it's not amazing. We do have Provoke as well, though. So Coronar is actually MVP here for control and decreased defense. He would be awesome. In terms of epics, you've got some turn meter stuff going on with Ironhide, actually a good champion. He's also got decreased attack, which works quite nicely as well. But for me, the one to call out is actually Nullhorn. So Nullhorn, AoE provoke, and it's a place, so negative affinity doesn't matter. He can also be built as your tank, and he also makes himself unkillable. So he's actually awesome for controlling waves if you've got one available. And then in terms of Orcs, we've got people like Warlord can lock people out, Angar can AoE provoke. We've got people like Tuhak with quite a lot of we've got stun and turn meter control here, and a decreased speed on his A2. It's quite nice. And in the rares, there's not really anyone there that I would call out as like a great control champion. So when we start to think about damage, really you've got damage for waves and then you've got damage for the boss. So damage for waves is all about AoE damage. It's about consistent damage. And yeah, again, Bellower steps up here nicely. Someone like Grush is actually strong, but he's the wrong affinity. You've got people like pretty much most of these legendaries will do a job, but Ignatius and Biggin are the two that really step up for damage in this faction. Shatterbones can do damage as well as control, so he could be a really good asset here. In Lizardmen, massive damage from Draco, massive damage from Fushan, Razin as well. That's about it for damage. Birdum card can do a bit of damage, but he's the wrong affinity. I've kind of missed out Krisk in all of this, but Krisk is kind of bonkers anywhere, by the way. So he could come in and do like a team of team protection and healing and decreased speed, so he should definitely be in the mix. And in terms of damage, we don't really have anyone bringing big damage from the Lizardmen. Skinwalkers, in terms of damage, Norog hits hard. He can do a lot of damage. Brackus hits hard as well. Smash Lord's actually good here for damage plus like team healing and support. Longbeard brings ally attacks. That's quite nice as well. Taurus has got a ton of poison on him. So he can actually bring AoE poison and a bit of damage, but he doesn't have anyone to blow that poison up within these sets. So he's quite hard to pair up to really get the best out of him. Yard has got poison and a bit of damage, but again, not much else here for damage. I guess Bash has got AoE, control, block buffs, and a bit of damage, so Basher could do some work. But the big damage dealer in all of these is going to be Seer if you've got her. So Seer paired with some people to rip their buffs off. If you've got Seer and Kreela, those two together are actually going to be like MVP wave clearers. If you can use those two together and get yourself to the boss, then they're going to be like your best way to clear waves. Gaelic's going to be good for AoE damage. You've got who else have we got here for damage? What's his name? Ultimate Gaelic's good for damage. Zargala again, good for damage. And Sandlash is actually really strong for damage as well, but negative affinity. So you start to see that we've got a lot of choices. Depending on who you've got, who you own, you need to start to pick your team together. One person I will call out here for speed. So speed in turn meter fill, increased speed buff, and weak source poison is actually Haruspex. So Haruspex, and he's also got a revive in case someone goes down. So if you're struggling to get through this, Haruspex is actually a really good champion at keeping your team moving fast whilst pulling out a bit of damage for the boss. So I'm going to build out for my teams. I'm going to start with a kind of like a mainly rare team. Then I'm going to build into some epics, and then I'm going to build some legendaries, just so you can see kind of a flow of different type of teams and the sort of things that I'm thinking about. So I'm going to get into building some teams out, and then I'll show you what I've got. Right then, let me show you Team 1. So Team 1 is going to be the low bob team, the Triers. So we've got Fleshmonger coming in for my decreased defense. He's level 50. I've literally just built him to 50. 5-starred him with Ascension. So we've got 4-piece accuracy, 2-piece perception on him. I need the accuracy for him to land decreased defense. That's his main job. We've got him running at 180 speed. Ideally, he's my fastest champion, but I can't get him faster and get my accuracy up. So he's a little bit vulnerable. I only really need him for the waves. Once the waves are dead, his job is done. But we need that decreased defense to get our damage off. I've then got a Nullhorn, who is in a free set. He's got quite a good base defense anyway. So he's running, so he got here 200 odd speed. He's going to be throwing out AoE provoke. He's going to be taking all the pain away from my main champs. We've then got Haruspex in lifesteal gear. Going to be running pretty fast. He's going to be speeding my champs up, 200 speed. So just got speed rolls pretty much anywhere really. That's the main thing you want, is high speed, good defense, good HP. So I've actually got defense gloves, defense chest, and speed boots on him. Enough accuracy to land his poison when we get to the dragon. Albeit it depends who you're running. If you don't need that poisoner, then you can take him out. But he's pretty useful for that. We've got Bellower in a stun set. So Bellower going quite fast, couple of hundred speed in a stun set. I've taken the banner off so that on all of these actually, taking the banners off just so that it feels like my Great Hall's not doing all the work, all the heavy lifting. And then I don't have enough rares that fall into this category, so I'm throwing in Occult Brawler because I feel like a lot of people might have an Occult Brawler. Occult Brawler, although he's the wrong affinity, his poisons will still land from his passive because it's a place a poison on the dragon. So providing he doesn't get mashed in the waves, he's actually going to be a good shout to get us through the dragon. So this is Team 1. This is the low bob team. That I'm hoping a lot of you might have some of these champions already pre-built. Let's put it in. So Bellower, Nullhorn, Haruspex, Fleshmonger, and Cult Brawler. So I don't know if any of these guys have got... We've got one Dungeon Aura there. Oh, yeah, okay, so... Increase allied defense in dungeons. Yeah, so Nullhorn's actually got a really strong one. 27% defense. That's useful. Nullhorn's also the negative affinity here. So I think Nullhorn is built... Let me just check. 34k HP versus 47. Yeah, so my Nullhorn should take all of the flak, should take all of the pain away from anyone else, even when he doesn't have his provoke out. That's the idea. So we get decreased defense and attack from Bellower. We get one stun from Bellower's stun set, another stun from Bellower's stun set. We've got the provokes out on everyone so that Nullhorn's taking all of that pain. And then my Occult Brawler is actually doing a fair bit of work in terms of damage. We've got the big decreased defense out from our Fleshmonger. And then basically, your only real damage dealer in this whole setup is Bellower. And he's in a stun set, so it's not like he's doing crazy damage. So it's a very slow and steady type of comp. And pretty much it's, can this team get me to the dragon? That's what I'm looking for. Can we get to the dragon? Obviously, we get a bit low on our Nullhorn, so we're going to rely on a bit of healing from Haruspex for that. And as I say, slow and steady. And this team is like a full control team. I don't have the champions to do damage, therefore I just bring in a ton of control. And we should find that we get through to the dragon pretty comfortably. Now, people like Nullhorn will do literally nothing on the dragon, so he just needs to stay alive for the waves. People like Bellower, Occult Brawler, Haruspex are going to be the people that actually do our damage on the dragon. You can see here, we're kind of slowly but surely getting through the waves and getting our damage away. Stuns going off, provokes going off. Very, very comfortable. And what I'll do is I'll whiz us through to the actual dragon part of the fight, and let's see how we do with that. So we're rolled up to the dragon, 4 minutes in. As I say, like a Cult Brawler here is going to be the MVP in terms of laying some damage down. Haruspex will bring some small poisons as well. But look how many poisons we've gotten already. So we're already up to 4 poisons, which when the dragon does his big nuke in a second, that's going to be just about enough to just get us over the edge. I've only actually got masteries on a Cult Brawler. Is it just a Cult Brawler here? I think I've only got masteries on a Cult Brawler on this setup. Maybe Nullhorn as well, actually. Not sure. So you get extra turns. We're getting loads of poisons on us. He's also in Relentless Gear, my Cult Brawler. He would actually be better in Lifesteal Gear here, by the way, if you're going to try and build a team like this. Look how many poisons we've got on. A Cult Brawler is literally killing himself. It's awesome. So we get one revive. It's the revive of our Poisoner. Good job, Haruspex, for picking the right guy. And now it's all about poison. So poison will do all of the job. This is probably a bit too on the edge in terms of, you know, did we do this convincingly or not? If you had everybody in Lifesteal Gear here, it would be tons easier. You know, if you've got everyone 6-starred in Lifesteal Gear, it would be easier. But there you go, a 5-minute 28 run. Even though a Cult Brawler did 2.5 million of the damage, most of that was on the actual dragon. So this is like the weakest team of relevant champions, I'd say. Like weak but relevant. So all of these champions are worth your time because all of these are worth your faction war teams if you're kind of coming up through the ranks. So you know, there's no one here that you could level that you wouldn't be using for faction wars or somewhere else in the game. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to upscale it. Let's get some epics involved and try more like a quicker run. Right then, run 2. So we're going to have Haruspex staying in the team for our speed. We're going to upgrade our control to Shatterbones, Mr. Damage himself. I really like this champion now. I'm going to do a guide on him soon. He is awesome to control the enemy. Really good. We're going to bring in Zardgala as our decreased defense champion now. Just in a kind of like speedy damage build. And we're going to keep a Cult Brawler in for poison on the dragon. So let's see how our upgrade to epics goes. The elephant in the room is I haven't put Seer in this comp on purpose, because Seer to me is kind of like legendary status when it comes to the epics. So she's going to go into probably the final speed team, I think. I've not run it yet, but that's what I'm planning. So we've got attack aura here, accuracy in all battles. I don't think I need that. I've got plenty of accuracy, but you might prefer it. So I'm going to go with the more attack. And we've got one negative affinity die here, which is a Cult Brawler. So he is actually in trouble if he does get damaged. But I think we've got enough control in the team with 2-hack, Shatterbones, Zargala to be able to deal with these guys. So you see here, decreased speed on everyone. Tons of damage from 2-hack with his AoE. We get the Devastates coming out. We should get a load of turn meter drop here. Look at that turn meter drop. Shatterbones is a menace. And Zargala's just coming in, slamming with her A1. So Zargala's bringing decreased defense. She's also got a chance to place weaken on the boss. And everyone else is just slamming in with their damage. Bit of speed from Haruspex to keep us moving. Haruspex can definitely come out of this and we can replace Haruspex with someone else. I like to have someone speedy in my team. So we've got a much quicker clear time here, obviously. Big boy decreased defenses are out. I think all of these have got masteries. Big boy stun coming off. And we're going to be through to the dragon at probably about a minute and 20, minute 30. Big old AoE's coming in now. There we go. And yeah, as I say, I mean, Haruspex, if I even put my Bellower in instead of Haruspex, it might be better. All I'm worried about is if my Cult Brawler just dies because I don't have him in lifesteal gear. So onto the dragon even. I've been playing a bit of League of Legends, keep calling them Drakes. And at this point, again, we're just going for that poison damage to get the main damage off. But we're also now bringing big decreased defense and a lot of War Master procs. Weakens up as well, which is great. So it feels like this team is going to be closer to 2 minutes 30, I think, if the poisons kind of roll in. Cult Brawler goes down. Haruspex says, nah, get up, fella. You haven't finished yet. Get some more poisons out there. Do your job. So pretty solid team here. Again, this is like living on the edge a bit because we don't have much in the way of healing or lifesteal going on here. Only really Haruspex with any sort of lifesteal going on. And he's pretty much in there so he can keep picking up a Cult Brawler when he goes down. So we're going to be, just over 230, 240 here. Finish the job. There we go, 240. So pretty decent time. What we're going to do now is we're going to upgrade again, and we're going to get people like Seer in the mix, and then you can see the sort of levels of damage that like more endgame teams would do. Okay, it's time for speed, time for pain. I've not even tested this team, but I'm sure it's going to work. I'm bringing Fushan in as my speed lead. He's in Savage gear, he's in his normal gear, so I've not re-geared him at all, but he hits pretty damn hard in this gear anyway. Basically pushed him into kind of good level of crit damage, and fast speeds. I'm bringing Kreela in to enable Seer. So Kreela puts up a ton of buffs. Kreela puts out increased attack, increased crit rate. Increased crit rate is the important one. So if Seer senses increased crit rate, she'll rip buffs off straight away. If she doesn't, she'll put up her own increased crit rate. Because we've got increased crit rate, Seer only needs to be at like 70% crit rate because she's going to be topped up by that extra 30. So I've got a Relentless Set Seer, ripping off buffs, doing a ton of damage. We're going to be bringing in Draco to set up the decreased defense and weaken, and poisons for the dragon. And that is our team. So let's do this. Let's smash the dragon with a Gaellen packed team. Obviously, Draco is massive here. Zargala, though, could come in and do the same job. So Zargala in that setup would be equally awesome. So let me just set this up. Okay, so final 5 then. Fushan, Kreela, Seer combo, decreased defense, damage, speed, and then control. Let's see how this does. Let's see how we run for what I hope is going to be my fast team. So everything going off here. Buffs go out. Seer should rip them off. A little bit of finishing work to do. On to the next wave. First wave done in 10 seconds. Next wave's going to be a ton slower because we don't have everything going on yet. We're going to have to wait for the rotation of buffs. We get an ally attack out, which is nice. Kahid sits down hard. That's the reason why Shatterbones is in here, to enable the second wave, to enable us to just drop all of their turn meter and not take any damage. We get into the boss. Now we're waiting for Draco to get his poisons back. That's where Draco comes in like clutch at this point. No one else here really has got like a ton of damage for this. So decreased defense and weaken are on. We get a bit of damage out. 4 poisons coming in. Draco says, is that all you've got? We're going to slam them. And I think we're going to end up doing this, I don't know, maybe like 1 minute and 10. Which isn't miles off of my like normal team, to be honest. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool. We're actually just waiting for the Drake to get another turn. But is it even going to get another turn? 1 minute and 2. I'll take it. So there you go. That is my speed team. Hope this video helps you guys. Get your teams together now. Get ready. I actually really like this type of event. So where they say Gaellen Pact, you got to form your teams. This is what they should do with tournaments rather than all rares or something stupid like that. So good job, Arium. This is actually a fun one to do. Enjoy the tournament, guys. I'll catch you soon.